Yes, sir. We're back once again, coming to you live from the U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minnesota. The Vikings just took care of business against the New York Jets, 27-22. 5-point victory. My score prediction in last week's episode was 29-27. Extremely close, and I do believe I need to play the lottery because I keep getting close with these predictions. Pat P is here with me once again. Pat, personal question for you. Number one, you still owe me a football because you were supposed to pick off a pass today.
How am I pick off a pass?
I was going to ask you, how do you stay engaged when you don't get no opportunities? And why are you mad at me? I wasn't playing quarterback.
Because you was just about to say, I should have brought you a pick back. I ain't had no opportunity to. I had one. They almost got me on a double move.
Your double move, you were trying to cheat. It happens.
Hey.
You won and he didn't catch it.
No doubt about it.
Question.
But anywho, yeah, I didn't get much targets today, but at the end of the day, I'm a leader, so I have to find a way to keep myself engaged in the ball game by keeping my guys engaged in the ball game. You know, trying to lift those guys up. You know, because at the end of the day, I know that I don't get many targets. I know, you know, when I come in games, I have to be engaged every single snap because I don't know when that moment is going to come.
Yeah.
You know, so
and you don't want to get caught.
No doubt about it. You know, so for me, I come into every game knowing that I have to be engaged for 60 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the unique thing about playing cornerback. If it's a run away from you, you're not involved. If it's a pass away from you, you're not involved. So mentally, you got to be engaged because it can be that one moment where you think they're not coming your way.
Right.
They come your way, and something happens throughout the flow of the ball game that can put you in positions to lose that ball game. Man, we just had Cam Bynum on the show. Great conversation with him, talking about his plays. But you weren't really involved in the passing game, to say the least. But, you know, you were involved, especially in the second half, in regards to tackling. And there was a play on Braxton Berrios, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
The jet sweep. And I didn't know if you was going to get him.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, because the angle kind of made me think you weren't going to get him. But if you don't make that play, he scored a touchdown. Not to mention, you had to be mindful where your hand was in regards to a horse collar penalty. Take us through that flow in the ball game and needing to be involved in run support.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I'm called upon to do, you know, throughout, you know, this season, you know, being able to show up in the run, being able to make tackles in open space. And on that particular play, I had to shoot my gap because we was in a man scheme, but my guy ended up blocking, and he was the jet motion guy. Yeah. So everything, the safety tried to kind of, I think it was Cam, if I'm not mistaken, tried to beat him out to the outside. So now
you had to go
basically
inside.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm a free player because now I know we don't want to have two guys outside and have them cut it up, you know, and try to get run it in for a touchdown. But with me knowing the guy was outside, I had to shoot my gap. I shot the gap. Yeah. And like you said, I had to be mindful on a horse collar. I did grab it a little bit, but I ended up taking his legs up under from up under him, then letting go.
No
so
question.
The ref was like,
and I saw you talking to the ref after the play. You had a little back and forth going to the refs. It's good to have the refs on your side, by the way, right?
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Early in the ball game, I think it was the first offensive possession for the Jets. The hit man, Harrison Smith, deflection, tips and overthrows are great interceptions, by the way, for defensive backs. He got an interception. You initially were the lead blocker, and then you became the pitch man.
Right.
You were calling for the football.
Yeah.
But you only got 1 yard in the stat sheet.
Yeah, he should have pitched it back
Dane showed that to me as well. Dane, he showed me on that.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. So if he pitched it to you earlier, you had a little window.
If he pitched it back to me earlier, I'm going right back where he just came from because he just brought everybody back to the side of the field.
So you was going to take it across.
So if you go back and look at it, I'm clapping my hands like, Harry, pitch it to me now.
Yeah, he didn't see it.
He didn't see that I was calling for the ball right now. So if he would have pitched it to me earlier, I would have got busy. Yeah. When he pitched it to me, he was 3 yards on the sideline. Yeah. I ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah, but out of bounds.
Exactly.
But out of bounds.
But I did get 1 yard.
You got 1 yard, no question. You got 1 yard. That's not a negative.
That's not.
You got yak. That counts as yak, right? No question. There was a lot of different moments in this ball game when you talk about matchups. And something we previewed on last week's show: Sauce Gardner, Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if you got a chance to really see the back and forth, but I had a great view of that game within the game. They didn't really match up a lot. But take us through, you know, what you saw from afar in regards to Sauce Gardner, the type of player he is, and, of course, Justin Jefferson, who did have a receiving touchdown in today's matchup.
Yeah, like you said, they didn't have many matchups together because we do so much moving with Justin. So it's kind of hard, you know, for a DB to match up with him. Yeah. You know, so the opportunities that they did get to go up against each other, I thought it was great football, you know, great competition football. And that's what you love to see in young competitors, you know, that the game is going to be passed on to in the future, you know. So it's always great to see, you know, great talent going up against each other because at the end of the day, that's why you play the game, because you want to go up against the best to be recognized as the best.
And talking about the best, a guy who I really like watching from afar for the Jets is Garrett Wilson. And I think he's going to have a bright future, regardless of who's throwing him passes. He has that type of talent. And you got a chance to kind of play against him more in the second half, mostly in the fourth quarter, to say the least. And I saw you guys having a back and forth. It seemed like it was good talk going on. What was being said between you two guys right there in the end zone? I remember he tried to hit you with an outside fade move. You was right there on him. They didn't look your way. And it seemed like he had something to say to you. Do you know what he said?
He said, you must have knew that was coming. You know, man, you know, that just come with, you know, film studying, just understanding where my help is, and, you know, understanding where I can't get beat at, you know, so that just comes with understanding the leverage. And, that was just friendly talk, man. A huge fan of his game.
He can go.
He honestly, man, a lot of people don't see this. I know they have different body structure, but he reminds me a lot of Michael Thomas. Just the way he stands, the way he try to sell his routes. You know, he reminds me a lot of a smaller frame Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I think he might be a little more fluid, too.
Yeah,
a little more fluid and probably faster.
Yeah, he's definitely faster, but just far as if you just look at him, if you look at both of them stands, you be like, damn, they look just alike.
Yeah. Well, you got a ground view of him. I was up top, so I got to take your word for it. Before we let you go, let's talk about the preview of the next ball game. The Detroit Lions is up next. You guys travel to Detroit. Now, the unique thing about today's matchup against the Jets, you win, Lions lose, you clinch the division, which would have been huge, especially in early December. But the Lions took care of their business against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're playing some pretty good football. That's the next matchup. You played against the Detroit Lions early in the year. Close ball game, to say the least, but you won. Seeing what they're doing right now, and of course, you haven't studied any tape over them in the last few weeks, but how important is this Detroit Lions ball game, knowing that you can have an opportunity to clinch the division in early December?
Man, every ball game is pivotal at this point. You know, I believe we got 5 games left.
Yes, sir.
You just want to continue putting yourself in the best position possible, you know, for that run in January, February. You know, so we have aspirations of, you know, being one of those teams that can make a run for it. And these are the type of games that's going to continue to help us be prepared for when that moment do show up. We'll be more than ready for it. So, you know, going up against a divisional opponent, we know we're going to get their best shot. They're playing some amazing football right now. Defense start to come along, you know, over the last couple months. Offense is putting up, you know, 30-plus points a game. You know, so we know we're going into a hostile environment. We know we're going to expect these guys' best football, and we have to be ready for their best punch.
No question. And like you said, we're seeing a different Lions ball club compared to what we saw in the first half of the season. Defense is playing better. Amon St. Brown had a huge game today against the Jaguars. Jared Goff is playing pretty good football. Jamal Williams lives in the end zone. So this is a great game for the Minnesota Vikings, especially coming off the heels of who you played this week, regardless of what the Lions' record is. That is a team that fight. They will fight for 4 quarters.
No doubt about it.
They will fight for 4 quarters, and I think that's something that a lot of people are saying in regards to the Vikings. You haven't really played anybody. You haven't beaten anybody. But number one, it's hard to win in the National Football League. You know that.
Oh, no doubt
and you are what your record says you are. You're 10-2 on the cusp of winning a division early December. And then think about this, Pat P. If you guys can find a way to lock up the number 2 seed, that will guarantee at least 2 games in the playoffs at home.
Yeah, and that's huge. You know, we need our fans. We need the Skull Nation. Everybody to show up and make it loud for these opposing offenses.
No question.
So we can find a way to get a dub. You know, we love playing in front of our crowd. You know, there's no better place to play on a Sunday than the U.S. Bank Stadium, baby.
The bank is open. It was open today. I enjoyed my first experience here at the bank. They treated us real good, had access to everything in the stadium. Every bathroom we needed to go to, we were able to get in, no problem. I got food. I'm full as a tick right now.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys won.
Yeah.
We might have to do this again come playoff time.
Bring it on the road, baby.
Bring it on the road once again. Patrick Peterson, Bryant McFadden coming to you live. We brought the show on the road to the U.S. Bank Stadium here to watch the Minnesota Vikings take care of their business against the New York Jets, 27-22. Now it's on to the next. Next up for the Vikings, traveling to Detroit, Motor City, to take on the Detroit Lions. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.
Peace.